I'm about to say something that might just ruffle some feathers, but if it ruffles you, sit with it before you swing at it. Men, we need to talk. Not to bash you, not to belittle you, not to compete with you, but to call you up. Because somewhere along the line, the narrative became the world is messed up because of women. Eve ate the fruit. Eve was deceived. Eve is emotional. Eve is the reason men fall. Eve is the reason for families crumbling. Eve is the distraction. Eve is the temptation. Eve is the problem. But let's go back and get real here, because there are some things I miss with that. In the beginning, before Eve ever existed, God created Adam. And God didn't whisper to him. He didn't say, hey buddy, try your best. He gave him dominion, authority, leadership, responsibility over the earth, over the animals, over what flies in the air, what swims in the sea, what crawls on the ground. Dominion is not decoration, it's a duty. Before Eve was formed, Adam had instructions. Adam had a command. Adam had a standard. Adam had relationship with God directly. So when people say, Eve messed it up, I need you to pause. Because where was Adam when Eve was talking to the serpent? Silent. And that silence has echoed through generations. Let's stop there for 1 second. Adam was close by when the snake was talking to Eve, even though it was through the serpent. But you see where I'm going with this? Man dropped the ball first. Why didn't he step in or move her or something? And why is it that once it was done, God didn't say, Eve, where are you? He said, Adam, where are you? Because he gave man dominion over all things. Also, why didn't he refuse the fruit he ate? Because he also was curious. Now, let me be clear. This is not about women being innocent angels floating through history. Women make choices. Women sin. Women can manipulate. Women can hurt. This isn't about removing accountability. This is about restoring orders. Because if God gave man dominion, then that means the responsibility is his. Men, stand up and at your place. You can't claim to be the head and then duck when it's time to carry weight. You can't shout submission, but whisper when it's time for protection, provision, leadership, emotional stability, spiritual maturity. You can't say women are too loud when you've been too quiet. If Adam had authority, then why did he let the conversation happen without stepping in? If Adam had relationship with God, why didn't he correct the lie? If Adam was the leader, why was he led? That's not an insult, that's a mirror. And here's the part that's controversial. Women did not overthrow men. Many men abandoned their post. Dominion doesn't mean control. It means stewardship. It means cultivating, not dominating. It means guarding what God entrusts you with. And here's the truth some people don't want to hear. Women were created from man, yes, but not as his property, not as his punching bag, not as his scapegoat. She was created as a helper suitable for him. That word helper in its original context is powerful. It's used for God helping Israel, so it's not a weak word. It's strength aligned, but alignment only works when someone is standing straight. You can't blame women for not knowing their place when men don't know theirs. If men were called to have dominion over the earth, why are so many mastered by impulse? By ego? By lust? By pride? By laziness? By fear of accountability? Dominion over everything except yourself? That's not dominion, that's imbalance. And let's go deeper. When the fall happened, God called for Adam first, not Eve, even though Eve ate first. Why? Because responsibility flows through assignment. If you're assigned leadership, you're assigned answerability. That's not patriarchy. That's principle. Some men say, the world is chaotic because women are too independent. But independence didn't rise in a vacuum. It rose in the absence of dependable leadership. If a woman feels unsafe, unheard, unsupported, she will adapt. Not because she hates men, but because survival teaches lessons quickly. And now we're generations deep into men blaming women for adapting to instability. That's not hate. That's history. But here's the loving part. This is not condemnation. It's invitation. Because if men drop the ball, that means men can pick it back up. This isn't about shame. It's about awakening. God didn't create men to shrink. He didn't create you to compete with women. He didn't create you to fear strong women. He didn't create you to silence women. He created you to lead with integrity, to cultivate environments where women flourish, to protect without controlling, to speak truth without crushing, to carry weight without complaining, to be emotionally present, spiritually grounded, mentally disciplined. Dominion starts in the mirror. Before you rule anything external, rule your temper. Before you correct a woman's tone, correct your character. Before you demand respect, become respectable. And women, because I love balance, we can't weaponize this either. We can't say, see, men failed, so we don't need them. That's not the message. The message is restoration. The message is accountability on both sides, but proportionate accountability. If you are the head, you go first. If you are the leader, you model it. If you are assigned dominion, you carry responsibility. And let's be real, the reason this conversation feels controversial is because ego hates responsibility. It's easier to blame Eve than to examine Adam. It's easier to say women are emotional than to admit emotional immaturity in men has broken homes. It's easier to point at culture than to admit character gaps. But imagine what would happen if men actually embraced the fullness of what they were created to be. Not loud, not oppressive, not dominant in the toxic sense, but disciplined, grounded, God-led. Imagine men who protect without insecurity, men who lead without arrogance, men who listen without feeling diminished, men who correct without humiliating, men who build instead of blame. That kind of dominion would shift households, communities, systems. Because the truth is, when Adam stood up after the fall, everything changed. But it came with consequences. We don't need more consequences. We need more consciousness. So no, this isn't men are trash. It's men are powerful, and power requires responsibility. Stop blaming women for the condition of a world you were given authority over. Step back into alignment. Own the silence. Own the passivity. Own the missteps. And then lead differently, because women weren't created to replace you. They were created to stand with you, but someone must stand first. And if you claim that someone is you, then act like it, with love.